You have picked up opinions and beliefs. And when you are looking right at something that with everything that you have physically become, you believe is an injustice, and you feel a desire to cry out in defense of your position. And oh, we know how much you would like others to side with you. Courts, rules, laws, mates, friends. We know how you seek their support. You would like them to side with you in defense of your position. We know how that feels to you. But we want to say to you, look nowhere for upliftment. Look nowhere for support. Look nowhere for understanding than to the core of that which is you. Because there is not one other person on the planet who has walked in your shoes, who has known what you knew when you were born, who has deciphered life as you have deciphered it, and has put forth the rockets of desire that you have put forth. And as close as they are to you, and as much as they give you lip service that they support you, no one can, because they don't understand. No one understands. We see your world trying to get agreement. You gather together in your groups. You feel strength in your groups. But it is not valid strength. It is bogus strength. It is not true strength. For true strength only comes from the alignment between you and you. So I want to remind you how it is. I want to remind you who you are. You are source energy here in a physical body. And many of you recognize that before you were born into this body, there must have been something. And many of you, you look around your planet, you know, smart as you are, you haven't managed to get enough dirt together to launch another planet into orbit. So you know there is something more to the picture of life than what you are doing here as physical beings. We want you to understand that in your physicalness, you are an extension of that which is source. You are not less than source. You are that which is source. You are a physical extension, a unique and valuable, every single one of you, extension of that which is source. So as you made the decision from your non-physical perspective to come forth into this body that you know through this personality as you knew that the larger part of you would remain non-physically focused and would be the source of the energy that is you. And you knew that you would never stand alone, no matter where you were standing in your physical environment, because you knew then that the stream of energy from which you have come would always be restoring you, renewing you, refilling you, being you. You knew that you had that support. Now that is support, that backup. Talk about backup. That is who you really are. You knew that you would come forth into the physical environment, and that this vast, diverse, magnificent environment would inspire from you personal genius, important you, new desires that would be unique unto you. And you knew that those desires would shoot forward advanced rockets into what we are calling accurately a vibrational escrow, a creation that precedes manifestation. Every manifestation is preceded by a vibration. First there is thought or vibration. Then there is thought form, which is just thought that's been thought upon longer. And eventually there is a manifestation that matches the thought. So this environment in which you are living was set into motion long before you got here this time. And you were born into a platform that gives you stability. It gives you continuity. You were able to be socialized into an environment so that you could understand how to move about and live and survive in this leading edge, time, space, reality. But you knew when you made the decision to come forth that more important than every aspect of that which is physical would be your conscious connection to that which is your source. Because you knew the whole story. You knew that you were source energy, and that a part of that would come forth into this body, and that this personality would evolve to that which is more. And most important of all, you knew that when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And you knew that in every deciphering of life, which happens all day, every day, that you would be sending forth rockets of creation, rockets of desire, rockets of expansion. And you knew that those rockets were not only for the physical you knew it was for the expansion of who you really are. You knew that you came forth to expand as you. You said, I'll go forth and I will subject myself in my physical form to the contrast that will inspire the new idea. And the source within you said, and we will remain non-physically focused and anchored to the well-being of the universe. Even if you get out here, pioneer human being, even if you get out on the leading edge and you find something to fuss and worry about, in your fussing and worrying, good will come, because when you know what you don't want, we know what you do want. And we, Source said to you, will give our undivided attention to what you have carved out. And we will hold the vibrational attention to it, calling you never-endingly toward what you have asked for. Never taking our gaze from you, always being that which you have asked for. And you said, I know you will. I've been through this before. You said, I know you will, and I know I will have guidance that will let me know in every moment how well I'm doing about that. I know you will, you said. I know you will hold to the tenets of well-being, pure positive energy source that you are. And I'm willing, you said, to go out and bang around in the contrast, to come forth with new ideas. And I know that my new ideas will become a vibrational escrow that Source will then actualize around in a vibrational sense. Do you feel the power and the importance of that which you are? Now, the reason we give you this story in this emphatic way is because we are wanting you to understand who you really are and how you're really vibrating. And more important than that, we want you to feel that the powerful law of attraction is responding to this vibrational escrow that you have constantly given birth to. We want you to understand why you feel inspired. We want you to understand why you feel the compulsion to do the things you do. We want you to understand what that feeling of passion and interest and that feeling of appreciation and love are. We want you to understand that when you're tuned in, tapped in to the vibration of your source, that you are then and only then living life in the way that you intended as you decided to come forth. Not one of you said, I'll go forth, I'll see what I don't want, and I'll stand in justification of what I do want by pushing against what I don't want for all of my life. Not one of you said, I will defend to the death, I will push against, I will wage a war against poverty, a war against crime, a war against drugs, a war against terrorism, a war against teenage pregnancy. And I will use all of these things as my reason to give birth to an improved world. But then I will do something unique. You did not say, I will hold myself in opposition to the dream I've dreamed. Not one of you said it. And yet every time you sustain negative emotion for any period of time, you're doing exactly that. You're beating the drum of and activating the vibration of and separating yourself from who you really are. And that's why sometimes you don't feel so good. Every time you don't feel good, it's not because someone else has done something to you. It's not because you've been forsaken. It's not because you have been wronged or cheated. It's not for any reason other than you're giving your attention to a thought that is not a vibrational match to who you really are. And who you really are is a longer standing, bigger vibration that is the core of that which you are. Who you really are is such love that when you don't love, you cause separation. Who you really are is so confident that when you're not confident, you cause a separation. In other words, it is your job. You said that you would come forth and pay attention to the way you feel, and that you would deliberately, thought by thought, guide yourself back into alignment with who you are. So when you are one stream and law of attraction is responding to one stream, you can feel the power of your being, the power of your well-being, the power of your influence. When you are tuned in, tapped in to this vibration that is really you, when you are a vibrational match to who you really are and focused here in this physical body, life is so sweet. Sometimes you say to us, I'm not sure it was such a good idea to come here, because because you say, I was source energy, I was pure positive energy, and I know I'm not that now, so why did I do this to myself? If I was pure positive energy, and now there are things for me to focus upon, injustices and such, and I feel so bad, why would I subject myself to that? Why wouldn't I have just remained where it was pure positive energy? And we say, because you understood the big picture. You wanted to be part of the expansion. And you didn't expect to come forth into physical and give birth to new ideas and hold yourself in opposition to the new idea you had given birth to. You planned on letting the surrounding environment inspire you to the new idea, and you expected to turn your undivided attention to the new idea. You knew that you would ride that river of life, that current of life. So do you get it? Do you understand that law of attraction is responding to the vibration that you are emanating? Been hearing about law of attraction, we know. Do you understand that? And do you now understand that you are a huge energy that law of attraction is responding to? And do you understand that while you are here in this physical body, that you can give your thoughts to whatever you choose, and as you do, law of attraction will respond to that too? So does it make sense to you if who you are is love, and you are hating in a moment? Does it make sense to you that this vibration is bigger than this vibration, and that in the focusing upon this, you are pulling yourself away from this? And do you know why? Because the law of attraction is responding to both aspects of that which you are. Law of attraction responds to everything. It's an equal opportunity law. It responds to every vibration that is offered. It's up to you to bring your vibrations into vibrational alignment with who you really are. And when you do, you feel the continuity of you. When you do, you feel the fullness. That's what that feeling of fulfillment is. It's what that feeling of passion and eagerness and friskiness is. When you are tuned into who you are then living life in the way you intended to do. So, now you know everything we know. We're eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. There is nothing off limits. This physical gathering has come long after the vibrational escrow gathered. In other words, you have been living life, you've been setting forth your rockets of desires, and this gathering has been well prepared to address the things that you want to talk about. It is our desire that as we visit together, that you will accomplish one thing. It's the only thing that is ever important to you, and it is what we have come forth to assist you in, and that is coming into alignment with who you are, no matter what your object of attention is. In every moment, you have the opportunity to tell the story from where you stand that leans you in the direction of the story that the source within you is telling, or you can tell the story that pulls you in opposition to what the source within you is doing. In other words, in any moment, you only have two choices: a thought that feels a little better or a thought that feels a little worse. Because from where you stand, if you're feeling depressed or upset about something, and even though you're perfectly justified in it by your physical standards, when you feel that way, the thought that is activated within you and law of attraction's response to the thought that's activated within you does not allow you a really happy, good feeling thought. The frequencies are too far apart. You just can't get there from there immediately. Wherever you stand, you have access to a thought that feels a little better, and a thought that feels a little better, and a thought that feels a little better, and a thought that feels a little better, or you have access to a thought that feels a little worse, a thought that feels a little worse, a thought that feels a little worse, a thought that feels a little worse. And it isn't until you understand who you really are and make a decision that you care how you feel because you know who you really are, and you make a decision that you care how you feel because you are not going to any longer pull yourself apart unnecessarily over petty things that have nothing to do with you. Once you decide that you care how you feel, and once you pay attention to how you feel, you begin to utilize the guidance that you were born with. You begin to understand the vibrational relationship between who you really are and who you are letting yourself be in this moment. So, law of attraction is the powerful basis or manager of all things. It is present in every particle of everything. And your conscious awareness of how you feel is the way you utilize your ability to understand where you stand in relationship to who you really are. Humans for so long have been seeing themselves as separate from that which they call God, when all along you are not only not separate from God, you never can be, but you are the reason for the expansion of that which you call God. You're out here on the leading edge. It's time for you to begin to reap the personal benefits moment by moment by your participation in the expansion of all that is.